Okay, now this is something that we'll see, a pattern that we see in Spanish all the time. Verbs that end in gar, itzar, are going to have spelling changes in the command forms. They'll also have these spelling changes in further forms that we'll learn in the future. Any verb that ends in sacar, car, will have a spelling change from C to QU. Now, let's look at that. So, sacar would be saque, saquen. Why would that be? What would happen if I just didn't make the spell change and I put like this? Sa. What happens with the C and an E? Sase. Oh, that doesn't work. We have to spell change here because we want it to be a hard sound. A car, saque. That C before an E makes a soft sound. So it doesn't make sense and it doesn't keep its same sound. Jugar. Well, verbs that end in gar will have a change from G to GU. Juegue, jueguen. If I didn't follow the rule and I just spelled it the way it would normally be spelled, remember, the G can have two sounds in Spanish, a G or a J. In this case, it makes a J sound, so it would be juegue. It doesn't sound like the verb, and it changes things. So we need to do the spelling change. Almorzar. Anything that ends in gar or sar in this case, is going to have a change from Z to C. Almorzar, we're going to get rid of that Z and change it to almuerce, almuercen. Again, for sound reasons. Now there are very few irregular formal commands, but here they are. We need to memorize them like any irregular verb. Dar, de, den. Estar, esté, estén. Ir, vaya, vayan. Saber, sepa, sepan. Ser, sea, sean. Now, there's only 5 irregulars. We need to memorize them. And remember, if they have an accent, that is an important part of the spelling. Okay? Like any verb, you always put the negative before the verb. No ponga las maletas en la cama. No ensucien los sillones. As always, in Spanish, we have pronouns. Direct object pronouns are what we're working on in this chapter. And when you have a pronoun, it needs to go after the verb. Siéntese. You're going to just stick it right onto that verb. Siéntese, por favor. Acuéstense ahora. Remember, stick it onto the end of that verb. Sígame. Sígame, Laura. Stick that onto the end of the verb. And when we do that, sticking it on, we change the stress in the verb. So, we need to keep the stress in the same place by putting an accent mark. Siéntese. Acuéstense. Sígame. When you use your pronoun and attach it to the verb, you change the stress, so you need to use the accent marks. Limpie, where does the stress go naturally? I. So, when we put limpielo, with the lo, we need to put an accent over that I. Limpielo. Lean, the stress naturally goes on the E. When we add the lo, léanlo. Diga, the stress naturally goes on that I. Dígamelo. When we add the pronouns, we need to leave it on the I. Dígamelo. Sacudan. The stress naturally goes on the U. So when we add the pronoun los, sacúdanlos. We still want the stress on the U. Sacúdanlos. In the negative form, the no will go ahead of it, and the pronoun will precede the verb. So, no se preocupe. No los ensucien. No me lo dé. No se preocupe. No los ensucien. No me lo dé. Muéstrele usted la foto a su amigo. Putting that usted in there puts extra stress on the formality of the command. Tomen ustedes esta alcoba. Again, we're stressing that this is a formal command and not a bossy command. Remember, using usted emphasizes that it is a formal command. You're telling someone what to do, but you're not losing your formality by being rude and not using the usted form. In the usted form of the mandato, we have the lo added to the end. So in the affirmative form, we'll keep it. So, escucho would be the yo form. We're going to drop that o. It's an AR verb, so escuche lo. Escúchelo. What if it's negative? No lo escuche. Decírmelo. Decir is the verb. Melo are the added on pronouns. We want to use the ustedes form of the command. Decir. What is the yo form of decir in the present? Digo. But we're going to drop that o. It's an IR verb, so we're going to add digan and put the pronouns. Díganmelo. We need to keep the stress. Díganmelo. What about negative? No me lo diga. No me lo diga. Díganmelo. Salir. ¿De usted? Okay. In the yo form of the present. Salir is salgo. We're going to drop that o. Salir. Salga. And negative. No. No salga. Servirnoslo. Servir is the verb. Noslo are our pronouns. For ustedes. Servir in the yo form of the present is sirvo. Drop that o. IR. Sirvan nos lo. We need to keep the stress. Sírvanoslo. Negative. No nos lo sirvan. Barrerla. Usted. La is our pronoun. Barro would be the yo. We're going to drop that o and use barra la. Bárrala. No la barra.